Hi, welcome back to the channel. This week we're creating that gated lead kind of sound. And I know I put Ajja in the thumbnail and the description because he's essentially my god, but it's the same gated lead that you've heard basically in every Psytrance track for the last 20 odd years. And like I keep saying, all the good sounds are the easiest to make. So currently I just have there's 4 bars there, but let's just loop 1. Let's turn off everything but the lead, so Serum. We currently have a saw here, so that's fine. Let's turn the random down, and then we might turn down the octaves. Let's go down 2 for a start. Next thing, let's add a bandpass, or in this case, we're going to a multi-filter, so a low band high 24. Let's put it on 50 or thereabouts, so it's a bandpass. Give it a bit of volume now that I've put the filter on. Bit of drive. About there. Let's right click and we will do mod source LFO. We're going to put this to LFO 10 because I want the first few slots free. Turn the depth down. Sample and hold. Maybe, I don't know, 1/8. Turn the smooth up. You can see at the start of each bar we get this straight line. So let's turn mono on. Get rid of that. Now let's go back to LFO 1. Now here's where the fun starts. So let's draw in a few shapes like this. Let's change this to 4 for a start so we can do something like this. And then we'll attach that to the level of oscillator A. Let's turn this up to around 80. Just an arbitrary level, but that's where I tend to set it. It's ending okay. Let's turn that rate up to 1/8. And now I think you can hear where we're going. That's obviously a bit static, so let's draw another one in. Well, first we're going to copy this to LFO 2, and then we'll draw in a different pattern. Let's turn this one up, and then we'll also attach this one to the level, down to 80 like before, and this is going to sound rubbish initially. That's because we have both LFO 1 and LFO 2 modulating the level simultaneously. But before we fix that, let's just draw in another couple shapes. We'll draw this across. We'll use 4 LFOs for now. Here, let's draw in... Basically, this is where the fun is. You just draw in different patterns. So let's go something like that. And then here, maybe that perhaps. Well, let's give it a bit of room to breathe, like so. Maybe like this. Once again, let's drag that across. And then we'll go to our matrix. And then we'll make these all 80, and once again it's going to play them all simultaneously. But what we can do now, if we go to aux source, and then we'll put this just temporarily, let's put this on macro 8, macro 8, macro 8, and macro 8. So now we're going to have macro 8 controlling which of these LFOs takes effect. Ultimately anyway, because there's one step to go still. When I turn the macro up now, it's going to essentially turn the depth of each of these macros up simultaneously. So at 0, there's going to be no output because there's nothing modulating the level. But when I turn it up, all 4 macros, or all 4 LFOs are coming in simultaneously. But I don't want that. I want them to apply independently. So let's go into our mod remap here. We'll put this on 4 because we have 4 slots essentially, 4 LFOs coming in. And then for 1, we'll turn it up and then down for the next 3. And if you think about what this mod curve is doing, we have the y-axis, which is the modulation depth, and x-axis is the input, which in this case is the macro. So when the macro increases, we move along this x-axis, and then it triggers the output based on these values. So at 0, or anywhere between 0 to 25%, we are at 100% modulating the first inputs. Then when we move past 26%, then we skip into this quadrant here, if that makes sense. So let's do the same here. Well, I say the same, but same concept, but we only turn up the second one. And you guessed it here, third, and the 4th. So now let's play this back, and with any luck we should hear the first LFO trigger, which is this pattern. Let's turn it up now, we get this pattern. Third pattern. And the 4th. Perfect. Now let's skip over to LFO 7. And the reason why I've chosen LFO 7 is because I may well come back and add 2 more shapes in 5 and 6. Let's go LFO 7. And here we can put this directly on the macro should we wish. So mod source LFO 7. And then here we're going to change this to a sample and hold. We don't want smooth on because we want it to jump from one parameter to the next. Once again, mono on. And the rate that you want this set to is the same rate that we have the shapes set to. So here we have 1/8. So we want at the end of each cycle of this, we want it to jump to a different one of these shapes, or indeed repeat the same one. But the point is to get the variation and the randomness. So we have this set to 1/8. Let's give it a kick. Let's change this though, so rather than have it on macro, I was just doing that for demonstration purposes. It is quite handy, but let's put it directly to LFO 7 just to free up the macro. Although in Serum 2 we don't really need to worry about that now that we've got 8 of them. Let's just play with our modulation on the filter. Let's copy that across to 9 and also 8 as well. And then 8, let's put this on the morph, which is essentially going to morph it between a bandpass and a high pass. Or not fully a high pass, but on the way towards a high pass. Currently 1/8. Let's slow that down a bit, maybe go 1/4 on this one. And the reason why I added it to 8 is because we're going to add, in the effects section, let's add a distortion. Here, let's go with something like, I don't know, let's start with diode 2, turn the drive down, and then add LFO 8 to the drive. Downsample works well, I think. Let's just turn the EQ on. It shouldn't really do much because we have a bandpass anyway, but I like to keep it on just to basically play it safe. Let's add our trusty delay. Let's put that right at the top, or sorry, after distortion. 1/8, link them, turn that all the way up to dotted, and turn down the filter. And then reverb here, after delay, and we'll choose the new vintage mode. Turn down the mix, turn down the mix. Play with these shapes a bit, shall we? Maybe something like this. So keep on adding as many of these curves as you want, get different patterns, and then essentially get different grooves. Let's just go up and see what else we can do with the wave tables. Go in the new S2 tables, and in analog there is one I quite like, and that is called Modular 18. So there we are, random gated leads in Serum 2. Hope you enjoyed that, and we're back soon with something else. We'll see you then. Bye.